Alright everybody, how is it going? It is Tuesday, December 4th, 2018, and we just finished with Week 13 in the NFL, so of course we have our Week 13 NFL pick results to go over here, so let's jump right into this video. And of course, there was no buys this week, we got to enjoy all 16 games this week, so let's jump into how we did, and go over some of these games. And we'll start with Thursday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys were able to beat the New Orleans Saints, much to everybody's shock, and to a lot of Saints fans, dismay and any other negative emotion you can use about this game. If you're a Saints fan, you can express it. Your team choked. They got played by the Dallas Cowboys, which I don't know what to think about the Cowboys after this game. Yeah, their offense isn't that great, only scoring 13 points. So that is something to consider going forward. But they held the Saints to 10 points, and that might make the Dallas Cowboys have one of the best underrated defenses in all of football, in my opinion. Van Der Esch is going to be a fun star to watch going forward. Their defensive front seven might be one of the best in football, to be fully honest with you. The Cowboys have a defense that could win this year, but going forward, they have a lot of stars to pay, like Dak, Ezekiel Elliott, Cooper, the guys on the defense that I just mentioned, that defensive front. So we're gonna see how the Cowboys do. This might be their year to win, or next year, because they're gonna have to start paying some of these people. Like Dak, I don't know how much Dak's gonna get. 25 million. I mean, let's be honest about that. So we'll see about that. But that brought us to 0-1 because, like many people, I didn't predict this game, and this will start what we'll call the week of the upset. Because there were probably five upsets that most people didn't get. I mean, unless that was your favorite team. Most people I pick with went like 11-5. So most people would have gotten all their games right this week had these five upsets not occurred. So let's go over the 1 p.m. games. The Ravens went into Atlanta and won 26-16 to improve to 7-5. One game out of first place in the AFC North. So that'll be something to watch going forward. How Pittsburgh finishes the season. If Baltimore can leapfrog them and get out of the wild card into the division leader spot. We'll see about that. The Falcons' miserable season continues as they lose at home yet again. Only scoring 16 points. They went 4-8. Matt Ryan got hit a lot, so that's something to consider. Ryan needs a new offensive line. We'll see how the Falcons' mess plays out for the rest of the year, but I don't see it getting much better. And then we have the Denver Broncos heading to Cincinnati in a game I almost predicted the score perfectly. I only missed by 4 points, so that's pretty good. 24-10. I predicted 20-10. The Broncos won pretty handily on the strength of their defense. The Bengals scored exactly what I thought they would with Driscoll or Savage. I didn't even see who played quarterback, but that's kind of irrelevant. The team's bad. Without Andy Dalton, they're even worse. Denver keeps playoffs alive at 6-6. They're going to have to win out to get in, I think, but watch out for Denver. They're winning games now, so their defense is playing real well. The Los Angeles Rams beat the Detroit Lions in a game that seems a lot closer than what the final score indicated. And I only missed this game by 6 points combined. So, 17, I thought the Lions would score 17. They got 16. I thought the Rams would score 35. They got 30. But they won 30-16. They really scored all these points with like 5 minutes remaining when the Lions gave up on the game. So it was like 16-13 when it still mattered, by the way. But the Rams won. They proved their dominance on the road, clinching the NFC West with their victory. That's why I have that there on the screen, clinched NFC West. Duh. The Lions, they're building towards next year. Their defense looked a lot better than people will give them credit for, regardless of the score. They got to go off 3 times, picked them off once. So, they're building towards next year. So take what you will with the Lions. They're riddled with injuries on offense. They lost Golden Tate because they stupidly traded him. So, 4-8 is a reflection of this. So, there's always next year if you're a Lions fan. And then the greatest game of the week, in my opinion, was the Arizona Cardinals coming into Green Bay and upsetting the Packers 20-17. Of course, Mike McCarthy was fired after this game. I think everybody in the Green Bay Packers organization, from the quarterback down to the water boy, needs to be fired if you lose to the Arizona Cardinals in Lambeau. This was in Green Bay, by the way, that they lost 20-17 to a team whose only wins have come against the 49ers. Nobody predicted this game. Even diehard Arizona Cardinals fans were like, yeah, we're losing that fucking game. No, you won 20-17. Rodgers looked like shit. He was obviously been playing badly to get Mike McCarthy fired, in my opinion. You could tell by his body language. So now the diva prissy bitch can get what he wants. Now he's got exactly what the hell he wants. His coach is gone now. He can get a good offensive coach. And when they still struggle to win games, what's going to be Rodgers' excuse at that point? Oh, wait, there won't be any. So we'll see. We'll see if a head coach, is the only thing holding this team back. Congratulations to Mike McCarthy, though. You don't have to coach the Packers anymore, and you're not stuck with Aaron Rodgers. Who's the real winner in this? Mike McCarthy. And then we have the Packers are 4-7-1, same record as the Cleveland Browns, who were unable to beat the Houston Texans. They lost 29-13. I predicted 30-17, by the way, pretty close on that game. I should get some kind of credit when I'm close to the scores. But the Browns and the Packers have the same record at 4-7-1. This is still a great season if you're a fucking Browns fan. You won 4 games. Take it as it is. That's more than your last 3 seasons combined. So, that rules. Good for the Browns. But you weren't going to beat the Houston Texans, who this was kind of a trap game for the Texans, but they responded well. They're not overlooking anybody. This is a very dangerous football team. Great defense, a pretty good offense. It's all you really need to go far in the playoffs. We'll see how that carries, facing teams like the Chargers, the Steelers, the Patriots, the Ravens, those types of teams. But Houston has a little squad. Watch out for them. They are the number 3 seed in the AFC right now. Depending on how the Chargers might be higher. I'm not too sure. But no, the Chargers are a wild card team right now still. So, but this brought me to a 4-2 record. I thought, oh, all right, I'm doing fairly well right now. 4-2 is a pretty good spot to be in. Let's go to our Sunday 1 p.m. games continued. And then this is where all the upsets are for somehow. The Colts, pretty much a huge favorite to beat the hell right out of the Jaguars, go into Jacksonville. Not only did they get shut out, but they lost 6-0 to an embarrassing football team. I didn't suspect this to be the Colts trap game. Really, I just didn't see them actually having to deal with any kind of adversity. It is the Jaguars, but their defense obviously came to life and just got all up in Andrew Luck's face and really shut him down. That's really the story, is the Jaguars' defense is as good as it is advertised. But their offense is trash. Six points. They should have won this game in a large fashion, but it's the Jaguars. Their quarterback situation is tremendously bad. So they're 4-8. I guess they kept their, I don't know. They're not eliminated. No one's out of the playoffs, surprisingly. I'm really shocked no one's eliminated yet. So they're still alive, I guess, Jaguar fans. The Dolphins beat the Bills. Pretty easy to predict. We said 17-28. It was 17-21. Pretty close. 4-8 and 6-6. Both these teams are not going to make the playoffs, so I'm not really going to discuss the Miami and Buffalo game. We'll go on to Chicago and New York in a game that, I finally give the fucking Bears a little bit of praise, and I shit on the Giants after I mocked them for losing after I said they were going to do well. And this is what happens. Of course it is. I can't pick Bears and Giants games correctly, apparently. So the Bears lost 30-27. There was a kind of a freak comeback by the Bears where they scored, got an onside kick, and scored again to force overtime. But that seemed to be all that they had left, as the Giants kicked a field goal and held the Bears in overtime to win the game 30-27 to improve to 4-8 and keep their hopes at the playoff alive. I don't really think they'll get in, but it is what it is. And the Bears now 8-4. They were helped out tremendously by the New England Patriots beating the Minnesota Vikings. So congratulations to the Bears. That really didn't hurt them in terms of standing. So, and overall just a fun game. Giants and Eli are playing their best football. Eli's playing the best of his career if you look at the numbers. So that's something to consider going forward. How will they finish? Probably, 7-9, 6-10, but, it was better than the way the season started anyway. And then we have the Carolina Panthers, who really just cannot win on the road. They've lost 3 in a row after starting the season 6-3. They're now 6-6 after their 24-17 loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are completely dreadful. But even they were able to beat the Panthers at home. Panthers stink this year, and they're falling apart really quick. Newton threw 4 interceptions in this game. And that's pretty much a recipe for how you lose a football game. You can't have that many turnovers at the quarterback position and walk away with the W. But that brought me to a 5-5 spot. I thought I was over. I was doomed. All these upsets. That's why I call it the week of upsets. You can see these on the screen. And we can include the Saints and the Packers getting upset. The Colts got upset. The Bears got upset. And the fucking Panthers got upset. Okay, that's 5 upsets in 1 week. That's insane. But then the 4 p.m. games happened. And all was right with the world of football. The Chiefs won 40-33, and what was a lot closer of a game than I thought it was going to be, they played the Raiders. Though it was in Oakland, we got kind of a dogfight toward the end. The Chiefs were way up, then the Raiders stormed back to get within like 7 points, obviously. The score is 40-33. Chiefs were eventually able to handle the storm and shut it down, proving their defense is goddamn horrible, giving up 33 to the Raiders. But they scored 40. That's the MO of the Chiefs. Yeah, our defense sucks, but can you score as much as us? The answer for most teams, of course, is no. Unless you're the Rams or the Patriots. Ha ha, that's why you're 10-2. Ha ha, that's why you're not the #1 seed if you lose one more game, Kansas City. Fucking really hope they lose one more. And they don't have Hunt anymore, but everybody knows that. We're not going to talk about that one. The Titans played the Jets in a game I won't talk about. They won 26-22 to improve to 6-6 and keep their playoffs hopes alive. The Jets are 3-9 and might be the worst team in football. Let's go ahead and move on to the Patriots. I told everybody. I got a lot of shit in my comment section on that last video about how the Vikings were going to come in and dominate the Patriots with their brutal defensive front. They can't handle our defensive front. They can't handle Thielen and Diggs. They can't handle our running game. They don't got the defense for us. They don't have the offensive line for us. Well, it looks like Brady stayed up most of the game. It was a problem. The defensive front was a problem, but we shut that down. Thielen had like 30 yards. I don't even know if Diggs was playing in that game. So, yeah, I think our defense can't handle Diggs. Yeah, I'm sure we can't. We just did just fine. You guys can't handle Thielen. Yeah, we shut him down. He had a fucking temper tantrum on the field because of, the way the Patriots play football. I mean, we beat him. We beat the hell right out of him. Kirk Cousins, also known as Andy Dalton. He moonlights as the Bengals quarterback, by the way. That's what Kirk Cousins actually does. That's why he's so unprepared for primetime football games. He has to go to Cincinnati to prepare for Bengals games in his off time. So that's why he loses big primetime games. Only one he's won was against the Packers in Minnesota, but the Packers just lost to the Cardinals. So we can see what kind of state the Green Bay Packers are in. Not exactly a big victory to talk shit about. Congratulations, you've overpaid for fucking Andy Dalton, Minnesota fans. You made my shit list, Vikings, because your players were whining for flags after every defensive play. I put my hands up. Why wasn't that a penalty? Because he was playing defense on me. Just shut up. Whiny bunch of babies, dude. Overrated hype machine. That's what the Vikings are, a shit noise. And the Seahawks blew the 49ers out in a game that a lot of people were picking like a close game for whatever reason. I don't know why I believed that. I don't know why I didn't go, no, they're going to win like 50-0. The 49ers are garbage. They lost 43-16 to fall to 2-10. Seahawks 7-5, sitting very pretty now as the #1 seed in the wild card, about one game ahead, of course, of the Vikings, 7-5, 6-5. Those two teams play each other next week. Should be a fucking great game. I'm excited for it. Seahawks will win though. And that brought me to a 9-5 because I got all 4 of these games correct. I don't have another game wrong this week, so I was pretty happy about that. 11-5. My only 5 losses were 5 upsets. I could have easily gone 16-0 this week, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Sunday and Monday Night Football, we had the Chargers traveling into Pittsburgh, and we'll talk about this game actually, because this was a good game. 33-30 in a game marred by horrible officiating towards both teams. There was a lot of flagrant misses, a lot of flags thrown that shouldn't have been thrown. The Chargers had a lot of calls go their way. The Steelers had some calls go their way. It was a bad officiated game in my opinion. Very, very poor. Especially since they were missing the Chargers players, seemingly false start a lot at the beginning of the game. But, I mean, one play really doesn't dictate the outcome of the game. You would think that until the same play is ran 3 times at the end of regulation. So, the Steelers have the lead late. The Chargers come back to tie it up. Steelers take a lead, or the Steelers come back and tie the game up at 30. It was a pretty good fucking finish. We get down to 1 to 3 seconds remaining in the game. Here comes the game-winning field goal attempt by the Chargers. The kicker comes on, the young rookie kicker. He misses the first attempt. They have to retry because the Steelers jumped off sides. All right, that happens from time to time. Big moment. You're excited. All right, second play. He lines up to kick the ball. He boots it in, and it gets blocked. And the Steelers, everyone thinks it's going to overtime, including myself. Nope. If you watched it, the Steelers jumped clearly off sides, and that's how they blocked the kick. And then they had to retry it. All right, try number 3. They kick, and it goes through, and it's good. The Chargers won the game, but there was a flag on the play. The flag on the play was on the Steelers for jumping off sides yet again. So they declined, and of course the Chargers won this game 33-30 to improve to 9-3, 7-4-1 for the Steelers. As they now have to kind of keep winning games to fend off those pesky Baltimore Ravens. And they've also lost a few games in a row. I believe they were like 7-2 at one point. But you know, it's all how fast can they fall? So Steelers not looking so hot lately. Oh, they've lost two in a row because of that Jaguars game. But whatever. Um, since that Jaguars game, the Steelers have looked bad, and they just lost at home to the Chargers. Chargers with a statement win late in the season as they get ready in a week or two to play the Kansas City Chiefs. What kind of a great matchup will that be? You know what I mean? Nobody can wait for that game because it could determine the outcome of the NFC West or the AFC West. I'm sorry. So we'll see. Monday Night Football, of course. I didn't really watch much of this game. It was very boring. I tried streaming it and I just quit in the third quarter, especially when Mark Sanchez took over. That's the main story to take. The Eagles won 28-13, 6-6 to keep their chances alive in the division. They're like a game back of the Cowboys, so we'll see how that plays out. The two teams play each other this week. That'll be a fucking good game with division standing with divisional playoff or with the division on the line almost basically. Not directly on the line, but it's up there. It's a tight game now. So the Redskins of course are in QB turmoil. Colt McCoy broke his leg, and that leaves Mark Sanchez as the Redskins' only active quarterback right now. And boy, oh boy, Redskins season over, 6-10. Sorry guys. Eagles, I don't know how you finished. You looked good yesterday. Your offense finally woke up. That brought me to 11-5 on the week for week 13. I was like, all right, that's a good record. But the biggest news about that, I was 99, 72-2 heading into the week. So finally, I'm at the century mark. I'm at 110 wins, 77 missed picks, and two ties. So, you know, I finally improved on my record for the pick'em for the season. I'm very happy about that outcome. I'm very happy that I went 11-5. You know, you can't really always predict when there's going to be freak upsets in a week like there was this week. There was 5 of them. Could have gone 16-0. So hopefully next week I do the same. Thank you guys so much for listening to this video and listening to all the stuff I do. I really appreciate how much you guys have helped grow the channel. All the subscribers I've gained in the past month or two doing these picks videos. I really appreciate you guys for listening. I got like 11,000 views on the last one. I really appreciate it. Like 100 subscribers. So welcome to the channel, all you new people. Hopefully you stay, comment on this. I'll respond to them. The week 14 picks video is coming up very soon. So stay tuned to the channel for that. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. I hope you like this video. If you like what's inside of it, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And, you know, leave a comment or something. How'd your team do? How'd you do with your picks? How's your pick'em going this season compared to mine? I missed week 1. That's why my amount of games are down by about 16. So you can do the math. Yeah, that'll be all for me. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And go Patriots.